Okay, so look, when you're painting a sash, the number one thing you got to remember is you start on the inside and you work to the out. All right, and you that's the way that you would paint a door. That's the way you would paint anything like this that's got glass in it. You know, you work on these hard to accomplish small pieces, and then you finish up with this on the outside, right? So you got a little bit of paint on my paintbrush. Notice it's not really loaded really severely, but it's got enough paint in there to do my work. So I'm just gonna come in here and start laying it up on the glass like that. And you have to lay it up on the glass, okay? If you don't put it on the glass, the whole point of hand painting the window is to seal the putty and the glass and the wood together, you know. And if you don't do that, then then you're just putting coloring on it. The whole idea is to keep the weather out, and when you lap the paint up onto the glass, it directs the water and keeps the water on the outside of the sash. Modern painters, when they paint something like this, their technique is they put the blue tape on there or some kind of mask, and then they paint all of that. Then they go and they cut it with their razor blade and compromise that paint seal, and that lets water in. And your paint films now, modern paint films are so good that they keep water out really good, but they also keep water in really good. So if your paint job allows water to get inside, then it's worthless. It doesn't matter. You can use the cheapest paint and paint correctly, and that will be better than the most expensive and best paint painted incorrectly. So that paint, I'm going to press it out like this. See, I'm going to press it. Now I'm going to touch the glass, and I'm going to drag it. Cut my line in. Boom. See that? Okay. There we go. Well, I should probably. Okay, that's done. I'm going to turn it. I think my hairs to stay down on my paintbrush. This isn't a really expensive paintbrush. There are better paintbrushes, I think, but I want you to be able to do it regardless of the paintbrush that you have. I want you to understand the correct principles of what you're trying to achieve, Some people will say, well, they can't do it because they don't have the right brush yet. Well, don't wait till you have the right brush. Start practicing. There we go. Boom. Nice. See how I'm painting my down position? That way the material flows out of my brush, not into my brush. So inside first, outside last. Okay. There we go. Do this here. Nice. Beautiful. Okay, now so people will ask all the time, you know, what about these, I gotta paint that down. What about these edges here? Now you don't want to paint these edges here, okay? Because the paint does get water inside. That's where the water can escape and get out of the sash and then not rot your sash. It's debatable whether or not you paint the bottom or not. You know, there's different arguments. You know, I like to leave it dry so that, you know, water can escape here too, because it's going to get wet. And it also, if you leave this bare, it helps to keep it from sticking to the paint on the sill as well. Okay. I'll have something to say like, this is the bottom sash. Okay. Notice the bottom sash. Let me turn it up right here. Okay. The bottom sash has a wide bottom rail, and this is how it would sit in the opening. This is the meeting rail here. When I turn it around, you can see that molded side right there. This is that meeting rail right there that you see. Okay, so this top part here will get painted as well. Okay. Now let's take a look at the top sash, its counterpart here. Okay, this top sash is in alignment with how it would be fixed in the window. You also do not paint the sides of the top sash, okay? But you also do not paint the top of the top sash. But you do paint the bottom here, okay? And that's really important because when this window is in position, the bottom sash sits in this plane right there, and this part of the window here is exposed to the elements, so this part gets painted. Okay, that's part of the meeting rail. So the meeting rail always gets painted on both sides. Okay. Also notice that this sash is on an easel. Okay, and you know it's just a homemade easel I made out of a window sash. It allows me, you know, to just relax and hold the sash there. But if you notice, you know, I've got, you know, the sash right there too. I can just, while this was drying on the easel, I'm just going to walk around and I'm going to start painting this guy. You know, and just get a rhythm going. Try to find my Zen moment. So, you know, now that I've gotten my first one done, you know, I should start to find, you know, some kind of a rhythm, right? So this should go pretty quick. So that's my method to paint a sash. You know, you gotta start driving down the road, find your groove, stay in your lane, and pretty soon you'll be cutting some really nice clean lines, and you know, and be a very effective painter. Remembering that your goal is to protect the sash more than color it. You get to use color while you're protecting your sash, but you have to lap the paint up from the wood over the glazing and onto the glass. And when you do that, you can know that your sash is protected for the long term. And that's just the way it is, you know. It's the best way to do it. So, Steve Quillian, the General, Wood Window Makeover, and the Artisan Army. Over now. Bye.